Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This video won't be another one of those heavily scripted, heavily edited videos I always publish. This is going to be a more chilled out, laid back, reflective kind of video. If you don't know, July 2nd of this year marks 10 years of me doing YouTube. I started my old YouTube channel on November 14th of 2015, but I didn't start uploading officially until, again, July 2nd of 2016, when I was 14 years old. I'm 24 this year. Jesus Christ, I'm getting old.
That's right, Lightning. Take good care of poor Tom.
So in order to make this video more tolerable to edit and be released in a quicker fashion, I decided that there's going to be some Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay footage in the background, because you know I love me some Kingdom Hearts. So I figured I would take a step back and look at my years of being a YouTuber and just chat with you guys. If you don't like the sound of that, you can watch my other videos if you want, like my Toy Story 5 video, for example. Shameless plug, I know. If not, and you just want to hear me talk about my experience of being on this batshit platform and the journey it took for me to get here, please relax, sit back, and hear me ramble, because I'm going to be rambling quite a bit throughout this video. Again, when I first started making YouTube videos, it was back on July 2nd of 2016, when I was 14 years old. And Jesus Christ, I just remembered, when I first started making YouTube videos way back when, my old channel name was Christian the Boss 1. Jesus Christ, I just want to go back and shoot my younger self in the goddamn head. Well, the pro to this is that it only lasted for like a couple of weeks before I eventually changed it to The Christian Show. Because when I was younger and I used to watch a lot of Family Guy, Simpsons, or South Park, I always wanted to like have a show of my own, and if I had a show of my own, it would be The Christian Show. And I figured, hey, now that I'm changing my name from Christian to Boss 1, I can change it over to The Christian Show. And there, that's the origin of the name. I watched a lot of cartoons and I figured I wanted to make a show of my own, and I kind of grew tired of the Christian the Boss 1 username, and I figured, hey, that Christian show thing I could go with that. Yeah, it's Jesus Lord, it cringy, but hey, it's better than Christian the Boss 1. I'm glad I grew out of that. I also created many of my social media platforms around that time period. I created my Twitter account on July 18th of 2016, my Instagram on July 13th of 2016, my DeviantArt on April 5th of 2017, my Facebook, I don't know, somewhere around 2016, I don't remember. I don't visit that boomer, millennial, right-wing hellscape of a website. And even this channel, which I created as a backup, I created it on April 2nd of 2018. But the thing you should know about all of these social media platforms that I have in my possession, I barely use them. Even my new Blue Sky account, which I made on October 18th of 2024, is mostly just collecting dust, as I only make a couple of posts here and there, much like my Twitter. And the only reason why I created it is because I created it as a backup in case Twitter was going to go downhill or get deleted or something. I don't remember. Oh, and speaking of another platform that I rarely use as much, I created a TikTok account long before it got taken over by the US, and that was on March 6th of 2020, which I only made as a joke because back then, TikTok was seen as a joke back then. It was seen as a cringe fest because, it was basically seen as a cringy Vine or Musical.ly replacement. You guys remember Musical.ly and Vine? I remember them. And I think the reason why I don't use my social media platforms as much as I used to is because of social media fatigue. When you're younger, the idea of social media is really exciting, and you want to be on these platforms because, hey, these YouTubers that I watch and I respect have social media platforms. It will be cool, and not just social media platforms, but my classmates too. Hey, I can make friends with my classmates. These influencers I watch, I could be on these platforms, make friends with them, talk bullshit, do whatever you want. It was exciting back then. It was really exciting. You really wanted to be a part of it. But When you become older and you look at all these platforms today and you see that they're aggressively pushing a bunch of bullshit into your feed, stuff that you don't want to see, even though you try blocking them out, and when your tastes evolve, needless to say, you're like, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this bullshit anymore. And that's part of the reason why I jumped off of apps like Twitter, Instagram, the other ones. I mean, the only ones I use are YouTube and TikTok, but even then, I'm not like as on them as I used to when I was a kid. But anyway, let's get back to my YouTube channel. You don't care about that other stuff. In the earlier years of my channel, I was pretty aimless and I just did whatever content was swirling in my head. The first video I ever uploaded was showing this clip from Rick and Morty.
Yeah, but don't flatter yourself. There's always AAA, you fucking cocksucker.
It's called The Ricks Must Be Crazy from Season 2, Episode 6. Remember when Rick and Morty used to be good? Yeah, I remember that. So from that moment forward, I would just make a bunch of random content ideas that were popping into my head, ranging from how I draw videos, where I actually did draw with a pencil and paper, not that digital crap that everybody's doing, my thoughts videos where I talk about my thoughts on pretty much everything, shocker, basic ass let's play videos where I would just put my phone's camera in front of the TV and just record it from there. Speaking of which, I actually do have screenshots where I got I got a community guideline strike because I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Got hit with a community guideline strike because of the title I put. That's how crappy mid 2010s YouTube was. I did top 5 and top 10 videos, try not to laugh videos, promos for each season I would make, yearly long recaps of movies I would watch, appreciation videos for YouTubers I very much looked up to, and, oh my god, the biggest content that I regret making, reaction videos. Also, there will be multiple moments throughout the video where I will show you guys screenshots of my older channel, just so you guys know I'm not lying. You see, I would love to show you videos of my old channel, even though it would be really embarrassing and cringeworthy, but unfortunately, I don't have them on me. But I did talk about my channel briefly on my Twitter account, so maybe I might grab some screenshots from there. I don't know. I'll just pop them if it matches what I'm talking about. So yeah, when it came to my earlier content, it was very aimless and experimental, again, but let's go over them in much detail. When it came to the how I draw videos, I would draw already existing characters like this, or I would draw my character and it would continue from 2016 to 2017. Also, there was one instance where I drew my original creation called Tim and Mark. It was this old cartoon I made in the hopes that maybe it would be like The Simpsons or Family Guy or whatever. You got the classic archetypes along with the talking animal. I'm really glad I left them in the past, to be honest. It's not one of my proudest works. In fact, it wasn't just them. When the MCU was popping off, I decided to make my own cinematic universe with my own characters and whatnot. There were some creations I made on the spot, and others were just different YouTubers I liked at the time that I decided to throw into the fold. And I gotta tell you, this shit is pretty cringe. Just like my YouTube channel name, I put it into the deepest, darkest vault of my mind so I don't have to look at it again. So yeah, here's a couple of other drawings I did from my past that I used to draw for my YouTube channel, along with YouTube channel banners I was experimenting with. I also have those, so I'll flash them on screen. And also I did some drawings of YouTubers I really liked at the time, so here's a couple of those I got from my Twitter account, along with all these other collages of YouTubers I was watching at the time, so here's a couple of that. Now, one of the types of content I remember doing that continued from 2016 all the way to 2020 was the My Thoughts videos, where I just shot my mouth off and talked about whatever the hell I felt like. This ranged from talking about the falls of SpongeBob and Family Guy, talking about cartoon live streams that showed the entire episode of a show, which was not fair use in the slightest. Like, it was just dropping him in there. Crapping on holidays like Valentine's Day,
Happy Valentine's Day, you bastards.
Christmas, New Year's, or Halloween specials. So much so that I made my own spoof of the Simpsons Halloween special Treehouse of Horror by making my own School of Terror because I was going to school at the time. The cartoon reviewing community at the time, numerous movies I would watch, Kingdom Hearts games, and also Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers as well, YouTube drama that interests me, etc., etc. Basically, I treated my YouTube channel as if it were my own personal diary, which is kind of funny considering I was uploading videos to the internet, but whatever. Unlike now, where I just pop in here and there to push these videos out that hopefully you guys will find entertaining, and then I just fuck off instead of delving into my personal life. I was an idiot. I was a fucking idiot. I was 14 years old. What do you expect? I really was expressive and put my shit out there on the internet. Not now, though. Now I'm just mostly secretive and I keep to myself because I figured you got to keep those separate, especially when you have a YouTube channel. Like, just entertain the people, keep all the shit you're going through to yourself. Like, don't let your viewers go through that, you know? And speaking of the My Thoughts videos, I actually did tackle a couple of YouTube dramas that were happening in the later half of the 2010s to the early 2020s. Specifically from the art commentary community. Again, it was a long time ago and I don't really remember it by heart, but I did make a couple of videos on the dramas that were going on. And all I have to say is I'm really glad I'm not a part of massive communities and I just keep to myself, because when it comes to these types of communities, it's really best to keep to yourself because you don't know who you're interacting with, you don't know who you're associating with, especially since some of these people, I mean, for God's sakes, when it comes to that whole style of commentary of like drawing and talking over it, a lot of these people, that community has self-imploded to the point where none of these creators are even on YouTube anymore. Like they're just completely gone. They're dead. Like they disappeared off the face of the earth. It's crazy, you know? Next up were the Let's Play videos. I did 3 Let's Play videos on like 3 specific games if I remember correctly. The first one was Grand Theft Auto, that's a given. I played that game religiously on the PlayStation 4, so much so that every time I would play it, my mom would come into my room and she would ask me, "Is there an airplane going off? Cause what's that sound?" And then I would have to explain to her that it's the PlayStation 4 system, and she would be surprised. Because I had the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 3, and they never had loud-ass fans as much as the PlayStation 4 had. But that's a given, everybody knows that. The second game was Black Ops 3, Don't Crucify Me, I got that with the bundle. And finally, the biggest one I remember is Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage. Fuck that title. And also Dream Drop Distance, but who cares about that piece of shit. If I remember correctly, this was the main game I could not stop talking about for years until Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. And when I finally got my hands on that game, both games actually, I did multiple Let's Plays of it during the time. Like when it came to 0.2, I did multiple Let's Plays of it during 2017. And when it came to Kingdom Hearts 3, I did multiple Let's Plays of that game during 2019. As opposed to now where I barely touch these games at all. Now all we have to do is wait for Kingdom Hearts 4.
We're getting too old for this shit.
Nice.
And since we're talking about PlayStation, I might as well get my thoughts on this whole digital future thing that Sony is currently looking forward to doing. I think it's absolute fucking bullshit that they're doing this because, believe it or not, some of us do buy physical media. And this is a hard kick to the nuts as a veteran fan because, like I said before, I grew up with the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 3, and the PlayStation 4. Consoles that required physical media if you wanted to play the games. And the fact that Sony is basically like, yeah, we're gonna go all digital because a lot of people they've purchased their digital games. I mean, look at the stats; they don't lie. It's been like this for the past couple of years, and we're gonna go through with this. We've taken careful consideration, and you guys are going to accept it. You love Sony, you love PlayStation, you'll get used to it. It is so fucking ridiculous. But here's the thing, I'm not going to be all black and white about this. I'm going gray because I can totally understand why some people have gone digital. It's more convenient, you don't have to go outside and get a box with a disc in it, and sometimes you people, being the lazy fucks that you are, who don't want to get off your ass and grab the box and take the disc out and put it into the console, because apparently that's just too hard to do. It's such a strenuous task to do the basic bare minimum.
I'm busy, you get it!
Lazy fuck.
Again, I completely understand it. It's part of the reason why some of us subscribe to streaming services. Even though we've got DVDs, Blu-rays, VHSs, and numerous other ways of watching these pieces of media, we use streaming services because it's more convenient. But at the same time, it's going to bite you in the ass because the problem with digital media, as everybody has covered on this godforsaken website, it's that you don't own them. You just own the license to play them. And here's a real life example. When Sony lost the license to stream some movies on the PlayStation 5, they ended up removing those movies from those people's consoles. Again, it leaves you to wonder, who's to say they won't do the same thing with the video games you spent $60 on? Like, let's paint a scenario. Say they lost the right to stream Halo, for example. Halo is from Microsoft, right? Say that they lost the right to stream Halo on the PlayStation 5 and the upcoming PlayStation 6. And then they basically tell you, hey, here's the thing. We don't have the license to stream that game on your console, so we're just gonna take it off your console. Yeah. And guess what? They don't even have the decency to give you a refund.
Look, guys, if it was up to me, I'd totally give you a refund, but the manager won't allow it. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Thank you for shopping at Ripley 2000.
Do you see why this is such a shit idea? But it doesn't really matter because Sony is not going to change their mind on this, as they blatantly told us, we can bitch, we can whine, we can do whatever the fuck we want, it won't change a thing. And the most we can do is protest them by having an entire week off in August. Like, apparently we're going to be completely unplugging our consoles and we're just not going to touch our games. We're not going to touch the PlayStation 5 for an entire week. Instead of, I don't know, voting with our wallets and no longer supporting them. Like, don't buy their games, cancel your pre-orders, and unsubscribe from PlayStation Plus. Like, that would actually mean something. But here's the thing, that would take actual willpower, which is something that most of you gamers don't have. So welcome to the digitized future, you dumb motherfuckers. And speaking of digital media, Rockstar isn't helping either. And this really hurts too, because I really like Rockstar. I just got done playing Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and I really like those games, and I'm a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. And speaking of which, I think it's completely fucking wild that Grand Theft Auto 6 doesn't even have a disc. It's all digital. And also, they're cutting content from the baseline game, which means you're gonna have to get that fucking Ultimate Edition if you want the full game experience. But to be honest, this doesn't really come as a shock, considering they did this with Red Dead Redemption 2, but that still doesn't make this any more justifiable. It's wild that they're doing this. It's wild that PlayStation is going into the digital future, that they're proceeding with caution, but whatever. Anyway, that's enough about the gaming thing. I'm done talking about it. Now, when it came to the other types of content I made, like the appreciation videos, the promos, and the holiday specials, they were pretty few and far between, and I don't think I really made videos on them constantly. You know, they were just something I made on the whim. They were like a couple seconds long.
Happy Valentine's Day, you bastards.
Also, I just remembered that there was a brief moment where I actually had a second character who was in my videos from 2018 to 2020, I think. And he was a cross between SpongeBob SquarePants and Homer Simpson, and his name was Willie, and in order to get this character to talk, I used a high-pitched synthesizer to my voice. And if you want to see further proof of his existence, just go to my IMDb page, and you'll see one of the thumbnails of a video I made, and he's like right there. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't look back on him with fondness. Like I just said, like I added a chipmunk high-pitched synthesizer to my voice, in order to make him speak and to differentiate between my voice and his voice, and it was really cringe. It was really bad. Here's the other pieces of artwork I did with him during that time period. I'll just flash it on screen. And finally, the last content we're discussing that I'm honestly not proud of was reaction content. Now, I don't have the reactions on my person, but there were 4 reaction mashups that I was involved in. An Incredibles 2 reaction, Geostorm reaction, Kingdom Hearts 3 reaction, and finally the It trailer reaction mashup. And Jesus Christ, this is so cringe to look back on. Some of these fucking cameras, they don't look clean. It looks so dark. Like, fucking Christ. And I mostly did these reaction videos because it was much easier to do compared to the other types of content that I was making at the time. Like, people who do reaction content will try to convince you and add some wishy-washy fluff saying that it's not as easy as it looks, but it's totally easy. It really is. It's easy content that you can easily make like 2 to 3 videos on, and you can upload them in a day. It's not that hard.
You sit on a throne of lies.
But I guess the only way it can be hard is if you play the trailer in its entirety, like along with your reaction, but you don't add much, which will result in your video getting taken down by the company. But outside of that, it's a fucking cakewalk, and I've actually experienced that plenty of times before. I've done that style of just reacting to the video in its entirety. I didn't really add much except my stupid facial reactions, and then the videos would get taken down, so... As long as you're adding something and you talk a little bit at the end, it's a fucking cakewalk. If I remember correctly, this type of content was hated on YouTube, especially in 2016, because that's when these bigger channels were really cracking down on YouTubers who were completely non-transformative when it came to their reaction content, as they were just sitting on their asses, watching the video, not really adding much to the experience, and then they just made bank. But it's kind of funny how this style of content creation is still going to this day, except it's not on YouTube anymore, it's on Twitch, and considering the gooner dipshits who run Twitch don't even take their rules seriously, the reactors over there, they get away with murder, pretty much. Like showing full episodes of cartoons, movies, songs, and other people's content with total impunity. And when they're not doing that, they're just being the most insufferable fucking dickheads imaginable, running their mouths off on shit they have absolutely no right to commentate on. Okay, I see the irony, but they're much worse in that regard. Like 100 times worse.
What is that thing? Make it go away!
What's going on in here? Oh my god, is that a rat? Peter, hold it down, I'm getting a gun!
And to be honest, even though it's been 10 years, these people are exactly like the people who used to do reaction content back on YouTube, where if you dare to criticize them or call them out on their bullshit, they act like a bunch of fucking babies. And if they're not acting like babies, they're acting like smug, self-entitled assholes. Which hasn't changed, except there's more female streamers because we got incel gooners on the internet, so, you know, they gotta get their rocks off somewhere. They gotta do it. Hey, I'm not judging, but, you know, they cater to that audience, so, you know. I stopped doing my reaction content around 2019 because I just lost interest in making that type of content because, yeah, it is just lazy-ass content. It's an easy way to make some money, and I have a little more pride in my work now than to just take the total lazy route and just make some money easy, you know, just sitting on your ass looking at the trailer and not really adding much. I've grown out of that, I guess. And I know there will be some people who will say that the shorts that I produce on the side are lazy content too, but at least I'm actually taking something and transforming it into something new, which is something that these React content creators just don't do, especially with how they do it. Like, don't even get me started, because I'm gonna go off on a rant, and I don't want to talk about them for that long. Okay, who cares about them? They don't matter. And since we're talking about platforms who fuck over their creators, or platforms who are completely indifferent to people who break their rules constantly, let's talk about the times YouTube fucked me over. Because let me tell you something, there's quite a long ass list of them doing this to me. Of them just having their way with me and fucking me over hard.
What the fuck is going on with YouTube, man?
Now, before we jump into the modern years of my content, I want to talk about my own personal history of being fucked over by YouTube, because I'm pretty sure this goes without saying that every single one of us has been screwed over by this website, at least once. So let's go over some of mine. I'm pretty sure everybody knows about this one because this was one of the biggest dramas of 2016, besides other issues that I gave my thoughts on.
We're in the home stretch, everybody. America is about to have a baby. Is it a boy or is it a girl? If so, you need to have an abortion right fucking now.
That's cringe! Holy shit, that's bad.
This show is what the kids would call giga cringe.
The non-advertiser friendly guidelines. For those who don't know, this is where the demonetization sign came from. To make an incredibly long story short, there were plenty of YouTubers, massive YouTubers, who were making money off of very shitty content that violated the community guidelines, ranging from hate speech, racism, violent videos, crash outs that included some very brutal ass fights that I definitely remember, and controversial topics that were being discussed on the platform. Because YouTube doesn't do anything unless it affects their personal piggy bank, a lot of companies like Amazon, Apple, Disney, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, and numerous others threatened to pull off of the platform if YouTube didn't do anything. That's when they implemented the non-advertiser friendly symbol. Basically, if your video violated these specific rules, your video would be demonetized. This led to a lot of people crashing out, including myself, because in case it wasn't obvious enough, I am quite the sailor mouth when it comes to the language that I use in my videos. There's no denying that. Even my sister agrees with that. And one of the rules for demonetization was inappropriate language, but luckily that has been a little more flexible as the years have gone on. I remember one of the guideline updates was like, you're not allowed to swear in the first couple of seconds of a video. Basically, this meant that you were not allowed to swear literally in the first couple of seconds. If you did that, your video would be instantly demonetized. So as a result of this, a lot of YouTubers basically had to check their language for the first couple of seconds until they were a minute into the video, and then they started swearing. That was funny, and I did that myself during this whole policy. Oh Lord. But there was another big reason why people hated it, and it was because of how automated it was. Even when you uploaded a video that was completely advertiser friendly, no swearing, no controversial topics, for some reason, they would still demonetize the video for no justifiable reason. And that's because of the automated system that YouTube still uses to this day, which unfortunately has had a bad habit of fucking all of us over. The second way YouTube really fucked me over, and this was really hard and dry. No Vaseline, no Batman style prep time, not even so much as treating me to dinner before giving me the bad news. None of that. They just went full force. Was the change they made to the partner program. Basically, at first, the only way you could enter this program was if you had 10,000 views on your channel, but then YouTube decided to change that by requiring every single channel to have 4,000 hours in watch time across 12 months and also have 1,000 subscribers if you want to make any money on YouTube. And if you didn't meet that threshold, you would be kicked out of the partner program, meaning you can't make any money. Forgive me if I get a little bit heated here, but that was some fucking bullshit. I know that YouTube is a business and they were still reeling from the apocalypse of 2016 and 2017, and they thought that this was the best choice to make. But I think it's also a case of too soon. You have Logan Paul doing that stupid bullshit, and then you just decide to say, hey, to all the small creators who wanted to make a living on YouTube, you can get fucked too. It's completely ridiculous, and apparently they also did this to stop the bad apples from entering their partnership program and not make any money. Dude, the biggest bad apple was the fucking dickhead who filmed a dead body in a suicide forest, and you basically let him continue to make money after the fact. What can I say? Double standards are an absolute bitch.
It doesn't fucking make any sense.
The other instances of YouTube fucking me over are not even from YouTube itself, but the companies who love to abuse their power to make a quick buck, and the rules not being implemented properly as well. This ranges from copyright claims, copyright strikes, which were very sparse actually, community guideline strikes, videos being deemed as spam, and all my videos getting blocked worldwide. Yeah, a couple of my videos actually got blocked, both by Universal and Disney, twice. But this was par for the course of being a YouTuber back then. Sometimes companies and even YouTube itself just really love messing with you. I don't know why, they get a sick kick out of it.
I don't understand that. It's a mystery.
And I saw this firsthand when I started doing YouTube. There was a YouTuber named Gem Reviews who also faced a lot of copyright bullshit in his early years. And this was during the time where the "Where's the fair use" and "Make YouTube Great Again" videos started popping off. And for the most part, it's still pretty much the same as it was in the mid-2010s. Not as insufferable, but more or less the same as last time. Oh, and speaking of copyright bullshit, most recently I got hit with a copyright claim from Ageda, which is an infamous Spanish company that has a notorious track record of filing fraudulent copyright claims, and if you try to fight them back, they'll just file a copyright strike taking your video down. But luckily, that did not happen to me. I fought this back, and guess what? They took their claim off my video.
Holy shit.
And I would say from 2018 up until 2021, I was completely copyright free. I didn't face much bullshit from YouTube or these other companies that much. That is until a degenerate piece of shit decided to take away 5 years of my livelihood, all because she was a punk ass little bitch who couldn't take criticism. Now, I'm not going to mention this degenerate piece of shit by name or her cumrag mother, because at this point, they're dead to me. But long story short, I made videos criticizing this individual for abusing the copyright system by striking down videos that she didn't like, and she successfully managed to get my entire channel taken down by filing 2 fraudulent copyright strikes back to back. And this wasn't good at all because the first copyright strike came from Warner Brothers. Why? Because I used the Animaniacs intro meme template to make fun of those idiots who decided to attack the Capitol building back in 2021. And I guess someone must have been right-wing who watched that video because they struck it down ASAP. Which is completely ridiculous because other videos on YouTube that use that same template I used are not taken down. So it's either you're a fuckhead who didn't like the fact that I made fun of your group, or no, that's it. You're a piece of shit who didn't like the fact that I made fun of your group. Anyway, if you want to learn more about this story about this individual and the copyright bullshit, just look at the earlier videos on my channel. You'll see it. And outside of a couple of instances of copyright claims from companies, that one instance of me getting demonetized, and having to share revenue on shorts, I've been pretty good so far. All of my videos have been in the green, and I haven't violated any of these rules that much. And when it comes to copyright BS, none at all. I've been pretty good. I've been a good boy. So I guess you can say there's a bit of a silver lining to this part of the video. Now let's go over the modern era of my channel.
The Modern Family Guy, 2010 to date.
Honestly, I would say most of the content I produce now is kind of similar to the old content I talked about, except these videos are a little more thorough, I would say, and I actually delve into some of these topics with a little more of a critical eye, and I think, yeah. And here's the thing, I don't really need to delve this much into the modern content because unlike my old channel where you can't see the older content I used to make, here you can. You can just go to the video tab, click oldest, and you'll see the types of content I used to make. And yeah, the type of content I used to make from here to now, which my oldest video is 5 years old. Wow, 5 whole years have gone by, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I would say most of the content I make is similar to my old channel. I'm more of a variety channel. I make whatever videos pique my interest, ranging from ranking videos, heavy deep dives into one episode of a show, talking about whatever drama interests me, or just shoot the shit and just show you posts I think are pretty funny, both in video format or the shorts format. Oh, and speaking of the videos I said I was going to make in early of this year, they should be out later this year. I'm serious. I know I said they were going to be out within a couple of months, but you know me and you know how life is. If the videos are not coming out now, they should be out later on. I promise.
Rigby's to-do list? Stay cool, don't ever change, have a great summer?
Here's other stuff I forgot to mention, or I just remembered that I could add a little more detail into some of the things I talked about today. One of the things I did constantly in my earlier videos, as it was shown in the reaction mashup vids, was that I would show my face pretty much all the time. I followed the nostalgia critic method of placing my phone in front of the TV and just recording it from there. But much like the how I draw videos, this slowly fizzled out over the years, specifically around late 2018 and early 2019, but sometimes I would break that rule to do some reaction videos. And I started to do the type of video making format where you just see a PNG instead of my face. Yeah, and I actually do like this. And here's the thing, I was actually experimenting with it long before I decided to not show my face as much. And the thing you should know is that back then, I used my phone to do all my video recording. And as for the audio, I used my phone again instead of using an actual mic. Also, this should probably go without saying, because you guys already know this, but I had this watermark at the bottom half of my videos ever since the beginning. For years, Power Director has always been my best friend. But I only started to get rid of the watermark because most recently I decided to update the software because it kept crashing on me with earlier versions. I don't know why they did that. And with this update, they decided to add this unnecessary big ass watermark that takes up like 30 to 40% of the screen for no reason. Fuck you, Power Director, and fuck you, Cyberlink. This shit is garbage. And you know what sucks? It still crashes from time to time. So paying all this money for this fucking software just to get rid of that big ass watermark that you didn't need to change was fucking ridiculous, man. When it comes to YouTube drama, I didn't really get into a lot of drama back in the day. The very worst I had to deal with, especially in the earlier years, was YouTubers criticizing my videos, and even then, that was a one-time thing. For example, the video I made talking about the cartoon reviewing community back in the day, only one YouTuber watched it, and that was the Alpha J Show, who was very critical towards my video, and he criticized it because it was very surface level and bare bones, which was incredibly fair. I was pretty surface level and bare bones back in the day. Another instance of me getting into YouTube drama was this one individual who used to do reaction mashups. Again, this was when I was 14 or 15 years old, and there were moments where he included some of my reactions into those mashups. But randomly out of nowhere, one of his videos got dislike bombed, and one of my dumbass friends took to the comment section to say some stupid shit like, "Oh, you got dislike bombed? This is what you get for not putting the Christian show in the mashup." Jerry was a fucking asshole. I don't know why he did that. And because of what Jerry commented, this individual immediately assumed that I had something to do with that dislike bomb, even though it wasn't me. It was one of my dumbass friends from back in the day. So as a result, he decided to get his audience to dislike bomb my videos.
Man, I love having some first world issues, dude.
Another drama that wasn't really that big a deal because my video didn't even get that much views was when I made a video being heavily critical of Hopeless Peaches. And she actually did show my thumbnail in her video. That was just a big mega response video that was that was just a big response to everybody, including some of the YouTubers I was friends with at the time. And the thing is, that video is no longer up because she deleted her whole channel. And speaking of being heavily critical, I actually did make a couple of videos criticizing some people in the, the art commentary community, I guess? Whether it was Prison Mate Luke, Creepshow Art, and Hopeless Peaches. These are the major ones that I remember. And here's the thing, I don't really count the Julie or Mahler drama I made a video talking about because it wasn't really that big a deal, and I didn't even take that big of a hit from the drama, honestly. I used to do a lot of reaction mashup videos myself back in the day. On top of that, I used to do a lot of fan art for some YouTubers I was watching. I'll show a couple of them on screen. And I very much like to do that. Like, I like to draw some of these people's PNGs. It was really fun. Another thing, I've also been mentioned in a couple of people's videos before. And if I'm not mentioned, you get to see me in a couple of quick bursts in some people's videos. What else? I would also have a lot of positive interactions with people I knew in the community. YouTubers include Gem Reviews, Phantom Strider, EB the Original Master, My Homie Dashi, LS Smart, Just Stop, The Right Opinion, Kalimara, Tater Tatiana, Hi Fluffy 420, Turkey Tom, Thuman, Pantsless Pajamas, Janky Bones, Omnia, Hopeless Peaches, at the time, Creepshow Art, at the time, Sarah Key, and that's about it, really. There's a couple of YouTubers I used to watch almost religiously, but I outgrew them pretty much immediately. So here's a list of their names. Now, are there any YouTubers who I had a negative interaction with? Well, outside of these degenerate pieces of shit, only 3. Illymation, Cosmonaut Variety Hour, and Stoolmouth.
Oh great, now she's glorifying obesity. I'm not glorifying anything. My point is simple. Don't be a d*** to fat people.
My name's Peter Griffin. I'm a big, fat, dumb buttface.
Shut up, Kyle.
When it comes to Illymation, she made a post talking about how somebody was giving her criticism or something, I don't remember. And I basically responded to the tweet by saying, if somebody was giving me hate, I would just block them. And then she blocked me in retaliation. Back in the day, this really pissed me off. But now, as a 24-year-old man, I don't really care as much. Like, honestly, Illy is just another one of those people who surrounds themselves in echo chambers, and if you're one of those people who stands out from the bunch and you don't blend into the crowd, you're blocked. She's basically like June from Shoe on Head. You don't believe me? She literally sent her incel squad to go strike down a video she didn't like. I think it was that guy, Think Before You Sleeps video. A video that was very critical of her not so great video talking about exercise or fat people or whatever the video was. I don't know. I don't watch her content. Now look, that guy, he's a piece of shit. I won't deny that. But that doesn't justify you weaponizing your audience to go take down a video you had absolutely no right to take down. You could have easily just ignored it and carried on with your vacation. There was no reason for you to do that. But honestly, I don't really care about her. She's honestly one of my least favorite storytime artists, or whatever these people call themselves nowadays.
Boy, everyone is stupid except me.
As for Cosmonaut Marcus, this was a really stupid one that honestly didn't really mean anything. I made a smartass reply to one of his tweets, and this was during 2020 when this guy was getting severely dunked on because of his review of The Last of Us Part 2. And needless to say, he was very obnoxious, stuck up, and I'm a know-it-all guy, so I know what this story is, and if you didn't like it, you're an idiot attitude throughout the video. But that pretty much goes without saying. Unlike Illymation, who chose to block and ignore me, Marcus actually went as far as to dunk on me, and even went as far as to show my old YouTube channel, which wasn't even big, it was really small, to further embarrass me in order to prove that I was an idiot who shouldn't run his mouth, or something. I don't really remember the whole drama as much as I used to. And when all the damage was done, a lot of his fans decided to dunk on me themselves, and then he decided to block me afterwards. Back then, I was pretty upset because I got dunked on by a lot of his fans, and I didn't even have a big following back then. But now, I really don't care as much as I used to, especially since Marcus and I have the same feelings towards The Last of Us Part 2. As he explained in his review of the TV show, he found the game to be mid, just like how I find the game to be mid, especially after I did a 2-hour video talking about the game. So yeah, no hard feelings.
So there's no consequences coming to me. So I'm gonna say the word. Y'all look like a bunch of niggas.
And as for Stoolmouth, I honestly forgot this dude completely because he was a troll. Seriously, he was nothing more than a troll. When I was getting my channel back up and running back in 2021, and I uploaded my very first ranking video, ranking every Family Guy episode ever, Stoolmouth had a lot to say about the video, claiming that I was way too negative towards the show, and then he just hurled a lot of slurs at me.
He has also done a lot of racist things, like saying the N-word, which was totally uncalled for, especially when the only reason he was calling someone that was because they were talking about Family Guy.
Just like Mr. Enter did, these never learn, okay? They never fucking learn.
If I remember correctly, I actually did watch the video at the time, but the only thing I got from the video was that he didn't engage with it at all. All he did was scroll to the end of the video where I'm just giving my overall basic thoughts on the show, and then he claims I wasted his time. When this motherfucker didn't even watch the video, all he did was just scroll to the ending where I'm giving my overall thoughts instead of actually engaging with the video. Which, okay, it was 4 hours long, but still, you can't claim that I wasted your time when I didn't waste your time, you dumb piece of shit. But apparently, he's trying to fix up his ways and do things differently, but I don't care. You do you, bro. Now, those were the negative experiences I've dealt with. Also, there was a short moment where I actually got some fan art from people, and from the small bits of fan art that I have in my possession, I really love them. So hey, if you ever want to send me some fan art, please send it over to my Twitter or my Blue Sky. I know I just said I'm not as active on there, but if you want to send me some cool fan art, just tag me by my username and I'll show it at the end of my videos. Something that a lot of YouTubers that I was supporting back in the day did for me, specifically Gem Reviews and Janky Bones. And I think that's about everything. Now let's move on to the next part of this video.
That's it, we're done.
And that's it. I think that's all I have to say about 10 years of me being a YouTuber. And it's been quite the journey. I've gone from a 14-year-old kid who is stupid and just wanted to make videos for fun and attention, to being a content creator who truly cares about his craft at 24 years old. And I gotta say, that's development. And I really hope that the new videos I'm producing really show that I've really changed from where I started to where I am now. And I know these videos take way too long to make, and I know the hiatuses are long and strenuous, but I'm more of a quality over quantity guy. When it came to the older content I made, I would just upload content on a daily basis, and they had little to no thought or care put into it. It was just, I just wanted to make videos quick. And because of that, I look back at some of these videos now, like the screenshots of some of the videos, and I don't like them at all. And I don't like looking back on them because it just shows a lack of care, time, and effort put into it. But nowadays, I can actually do that because I actually do put time and effort into these videos. And again, I am sorry for the long, strenuous wait, but I hope when these projects do come out, that they will be satisfying to you guys, because I really do try to put my best foot forward and make them with love and care, and I hope it really shows, you know? I hope it shows the growth, you know, from where I started to where I am now. So again, here's to 10 years, baby. Only an indefinite number more. So, yeah, that's my 10th anniversary video. I hope you guys got some semblance of enjoying hearing me ramble, talking about my old days like I'm an old man, the way YouTube used to be, and yeah, I hope you got some semblance of enjoying hearing me talk about my past a little bit. If you guys enjoyed the video, which I don't really like to say this next part because it's kind of cringe and I just hate it so much, but for old time's sake and to celebrate 10 years, please like, subscribe, tell me what you guys thought in the comments section below. And, yeah, I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace.